Hello everyone, welcome to Queen's College. I'm Josh Pratt and we are here today to talk about New York Braveheart, a club who has exploded onto the New York City soccer scene in this past year. First with their men's team, who in 2022 made their debut in the NYC Nation before making the step up in the fall of 2022 to the UPSL Premier Division, in which they made the playoffs and had a strong league season. And on the youth side, there's been groundbreaking work done. Braveheart forming a partnership with the Queens-based Academy, Met Oval, working hard to provide a really comprehensive path from youth all the way up to professional. And as part of that, Braveheart have already formed 3 of their own academy teams, U15, U17, U19, and we're going to be talking with coaches and players from those teams about the work that's been done already with Braveheart and their plans for the future. How is Braveheart going to revolutionize the New York City soccer scene? How are they going to light it up? So guys, stay tuned to watch all that. Let's learn more now about New York Braveheart. Hey guys, I'm here with Coach CP De Vera. Coach, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Yeah. I wanted to talk to you first about the partnership between Met Oval and Braveheart. Obviously it's a massive groundbreaking agreement made over the summer. How does this transform the opportunities for youth in Queens and the New York area in general?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it provides access, right? So New York's such a metropolitan community. You could literally throw a quarter and hit 5 teams worth of the same age group that are of the level that can do it. Unfortunately, there's probably not the amount of quality coaches to help kind of facilitate that, and then obviously there's not a lot of clubs or scouts that can kind of then reach to that, right? But from a population density, it's massive. It's a massive market, and like I said, we're here in Queens, and again, we could probably go around the neighborhood, and if we just went door to door, we'd have another 4, 2, 3 teams. So it's massive in terms of providing access, but it's also in a lot of these communities, being kind of immigrant-based, it's a lot of they don't know what they don't know. So some of them don't even know that a Met Oval exists or any of those clubs in that league or in that level. So kind of getting out there, hitting the boots, running, and it's a true kind of grassroots effort to kind of help propel them and give them an opportunity. Because it is a place where you can. So that's kind of the catalyst of it, and hopefully we can keep that trail going. So.
And if I understand the structure correctly, so the Braveheart Academy players can go from that up into Met Oval and then playing in MLS next and beyond.
Yeah. So the kind of mission or vision of what Braveheart is kind of positioning themselves to be is, again, so it's more of a community-based club. Right, the ownership group, I pressed really hard to kind of keep, for example, everything's going to cost, so keep the dues to be at as bare minimum as possible, right? So to provide a low barrier to entry, right? So now there's a couple of avenues that Braveheart players can go. So on one hand, we can keep them in-house. They can play with our first division or premier men's teams and kind of have a pathway to pro there if they want to stay local. Maybe go to a Queens College like this, or a 2-year university and still have a pro pathway by going semi-pro through us and then launching that way. The other pathway is through this partnership with Met Oval, to where they can now play on a new platform from EDP, UPSL that we're playing in now, and jump over to MLS next, and then have a pro pathway possibly through Met Oval / NYCFC and what all that might entail as they progress. So realistically, the kids have 3 exit opportunities, right? They can play UPSL with us. They can go to university. We can help them with that through my connections that I've developed over the years and done that in job opportunities with Met Oval. Or the third one be Met Oval and kind of the traditional pathway, pro pathway through Met Oval and their partnerships on that. Right. So it's a pretty exciting opportunity for the players. I don't think too many of the clubs have kind of thought about the player from that standpoint in terms of what can we help them with, right, to succeed. And so the ownership group, like I said, has done really well of providing as many opportunities as they can to the kids, which is good. They've got the kid at first. So
that's fantastic. And obviously, as you said, New York City just has so much potential, the soccer scene, that probably isn't being fully realised for the reasons you said. How does giving those options, not just also for the top level players, but for the vast majority of players who love the game, who play at a good level but not at the high level, how could that transform the scene if this becomes a widespread thing across the city?
Yeah, it's going to be disruptive for sure. And like I said, I kind of hit on it earlier. The big hot topic button in America is that, soccer is expensive and it's pay to play. I personally don't just prescribe to that. Funding's got to come from somewhere. Like, none of us coaches are going to coach for free. This facility is not going to rent itself for free. So dollars have to be generated somewhere, right? So if you're going to keep the cost low, like what we've had here, we've got an ownership group that's putting in their own funds. We're doing a fundraiser right now, a raffle. We're trying to take donations. We just started a 501 and, try to get sponsorship donations through this. Right? So there's ways that you can offset the actual cost. And like I said, our dollar amount per month is ridiculously low for this month by a lot. And so it's a disruptor because, as you saw tonight, we've already got another I think 20, 25 kids who from Monday's posting that we were going to have a tryout today signed up. And that, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is in regards of getting all their information, getting them here, doing the logistics, and having them come out and show up. So it will probably be disruptive because people will see that you can run a youth club maybe in more of an altruistic way if you really want to. And it's just a matter of, are you going to choose to do it that way, or are you going to choose to do it another? Neither way is wrong. It's just, like I said, we've put the player first and tried to have everything be about them. So
here's a question that I know so many parents would ask.
Mm-hmm.
It's very altruistic, it gives lots of opportunities. Do you believe this is a model that will produce really high-level players? That parent who wants their kid to go off and shoot for stars?
Yeah, I guess you never know, because the biggest thing on the other side, what we can't control, is the person that we're presenting the player to saying yes. All we can do is do our job, is provide good facilities, create a good environment. We've just onboarded another coach who's right now he's sitting on a C license USSF, but waiting to get into the B. He's coaching college. So again, it's strategic in the sense that he's coaching in an environment where it's where those kids will end up. So he already knows what the end product kind of looks like from a college standpoint. So we're doing what we can control, which is have a great facility, keep costs low, don't spend all this crazy money. You don't have to show up with the flashiest of uniforms, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just throw on a different colored jersey from the opponent and you can play. So all of the things that kind of don't matter, but generally tend to be the driving catalyst of what makes a parent be able to say, oh, my kid's playing at this club. So being a bit kind of pushing back on them. Sometimes they prefer to be able to say, oh, my kid plays at XYZ. Does he play or does he sit? Which one is it? Is he developing or are they whatever? So there's a lot of stuff that you can push back on as well, but we're doing the best we can. We've luckily already had one U17 who's done phenomenally well. Meta Oval's already signed and taken him over under their MLS Next platform. So we started in December with tryouts. We had a couple trainings over the winter. We've only been out here maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and one kid's already performed well enough for them to take him. And we let him go, right? And that's what we think will be our flag that we're planting in the ground, is we will help develop you, and when they say yes, it's your time to go. We're not going to keep you. We don't need to keep you, because if you go out, we'll have hopefully 5 or 6 that want to now come join, which, like I said tonight, 22 or 23 have reached out to try to join. So for one going out, 23 coming in, that's a pretty good return on an investment, right? And so that's what we want to keep doing, is cranking. And, if we can, instead of it being an 06, can we get an 08, an 09, a 10? And that's where you're really making the difference, because those kids can now be in an environment that maybe is quote unquote a little bit more elite, and they've got the benefit of time because they're younger. So that's now the next goal. We've got one. Can we get 2 or 3? Can we get them younger? Can we get more? And just keep it going. Just have that steady stream. So.
And for your coaching team, I know that among your many roles in New York soccer, you're a coach educator.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a great youth coach?
It's tough, right? Because we all have an ego. We all want to be the next whoever manager that we idolize. Now, I think it's can you separate your individual goal from where you are right now? Meaning, if I want to be the next whatever, Jurgen Klopp, whatever, that's great. I can try to push towards that. But right now I'm coaching youth academy kids that's probably 2nd or 3rd tier in the youth soccer system here. I'm coaching a 4th division men's team, right? So I'm way far away from that, right? And being able to embrace art. Well, here's where you're at. This is what you've got to do. This is what you have to keep doing to work to get to that next level, and kind of stripping your ego out of it, which is tough. Because like I said, everybody's got goals to do it. But that I think is the biggest hurdle, because then you've put yourself before the player. And I think, again, maybe a bit altruistically, eventually people will probably recognize your body of work as opposed to other things, right? So if they see that you're having success putting kids into the next level environment or whatever it may be, that you'll get it through that as opposed to other more traditional means of do this person or that person or whatever it may be. So your body of work will speak for itself.
And in terms of the methodology you're looking for the boys at Braveheart to play, I was really struck that I spoke to three boys earlier tonight, and they had a clear idea. They said they said they liked the way that their coach to play. Without giving away the whole recipe book, what are some of the principles of Braveheart Academy?
It's okay to give the recipe, because again, if people want to keep playing this way, we feel that the way that we're trying to get these kids to play is the way that the whole country should play. So if you want the whole country to play this way, why would you want to keep it boxed up, right? So the nice thing is they can either take it or they can leave it, or they can think it's a joke and say, these guys are idiots, which is fine. All of it's fine. But no, the way that we want to try to play is we want to keep the ball and almost kind of make you suffer by having to chase the ball like you're a dog in the park, right? We don't need to rush, because of it, one of two things will happen. You're either going to get frustrated because we've kept the ball for so long, or you're going to get tired and we'll be able to score easily. So it's very possession based. We have a lot of principles that they all stem from being able to recognize the pressure, which we don't think maybe that's focused enough upon. And so we want the players to be able to be free, recognize the pressure, and then you make the decision. What do you see? If you see you need to dribble, then dribble the whole field. I don't care if that's the right decision in that moment. If it's to pass, then you pass. But you've got to make the decision. And so we try to just set them up in scenarios where they experience enough of those over and over and over. It just becomes secondhand nature to, they're doing this, so we're going to do that, or vice versa. It's just a big matrix of decision making. So that's what we want them to do. They want to be able to be fluid and have fun. So.
And you're head coach in the men's team in the UPSL Premier Division. What difference does it make to these youngsters to have these positive older role models?
No, it's great. Like, we have two kids, Tomas and Joshua Nagas, 17 and 19. We've incorporated them into training, and even just their kind of reflection back to the group, like in their group chat. You can hear and see that the intensity level is different, the competitive level is different, and so hopefully the idea is, again, putting those guys who will hopefully be next to make a jump to some exit, that it rubs off on the others when they then jump back into this environment and be the leaders that they are. They happen to be the two captains of each of those teams, so it's not by luck that they've come and joined with the men's, but it's done well. And you know, like last night we trained at Met Oval, and Joshua had some good moments, and it gave me an opportunity to rip into the men and say, hey, a 17-year-old can't come out here and do what he's doing right now, because this is not how it's supposed to work. So it also gives me moments of like, look, there are kids behind you. We're going to give them an opportunity. If they want to, if it's time to play with the first division, then they stop playing 17s, 19s. They play with the first division. Like, I don't care. The best players need to be playing somewhere. They need the opportunity. So it's been a really good experience for us too. Thomas hasn't been there in a while because he's been under the weather the last couple of weeks. So once he gets back to his fitness thing, he'll be joining again right away. So it's been good.
You guys have your second game of the UPSL Premier Division on Saturday. What's your hopes and ambitions for this spring season?
Yeah, it's tough because my spring ambition for both of the teams, the first division and Premier, was to just run the table. It hasn't worked out. First division team, we lost last Saturday 1-0. This past weekend, our Premier team tied 2-2 versus a really tough Lancaster team away. So we're 0-1 there. Lost 1, drew 1. So that threw that out the window. That season will go out the window. So now it's strip it back and kind of be a bit more humble internally, and just try to now get it done. Can we get our first one? So that's the objective and goal right now. We've had to do a little bit of tweaking, but it's also been tough because we carried over a couple of suspensions from the end of last year, and then our first game versus Pathfinder, we unfortunately got a couple more suspensions out of that game, so our roster was a little bit light. But again, that is in our control, so that is our own fault. We've shot ourselves in the foot, so we now just have to wait for that time to come out, and hopefully we can stem the tide until we get everybody back to full roster. So get it right now. It's a small one. The first goal is get the first win. Then the next goal will probably be let's get as high a standing so we can qualify for the playoffs and do some damage at the end of the season. So that's the job.
Absolutely. Lastly, where would you hope to see Braveheart in the future, 5-10 years down the line?
The biggest thing would be as the standout kind of grassroots level club in the area, meaning it's showing everybody that you can push talent out, you can do it with great facilities, with great staff and people. It's a lot of work because you got to find people with like-mindedness, who believe in the same values and that want to do the work and put the kid at the front and center, and we're doing everything for the kids, and that's it. And who are going to work, right? Because at the same time, you do have to figure out and go find all these players. When I first came, everybody looked the same on this team, if I'm being completely honest. Now, in 2-3 months, it looks more indicative of going and walking to the subway stop, right? We have people with different diverse cultural backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, and that's New York City, right? So number one is, which we've already done-ish, is have the population look like the city, be like the city, now provide, we're on the way of providing good facilities and things like this, gotten the staffing, and you don't have to really do it for breaking the bank. It's just not necessary if you know where to put your resources. And so being that model that can show, yeah, here's your pay to play argument, and you can throw that out the window because it's being done at bare bones and we're having this X amount of success. So that's probably the vision for what we want to try to do here and be known for.
Well, as a European, I certainly love tearing up the pay to play model. I think it's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So we think we're off to a good start, especially having come with zero resources in the bank. And look, there's going to be costs. And, kids have had to pay. It's definitely every player and parent that we've recruited over from other clubs has said this is drastically less than what they were paying in their current environment. And so hopefully now too, with, like we said, sponsorships, fundraisers, being creative with other ideas of how to generate funds, that we can get that even closer to zero. Very hard work, but if you want to do it, you can do it.
Well, CP, it's a really exciting project. We're really looking forward to following the men's team and the second team, as well as the academy teams this season, and to see where you guys go in the next couple of years.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Hopefully we make people happy. So,
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey guys, I'm here with Coach Said. Coach, you've joined Braveheart recently. First question, what made you decide to join the Braveheart project?
I would say definitely the mission and the people there already. So CP was one of my instructors in my coaching education coming up, and once he gave the recommendation, Bob gave me a call, and from that moment I was brought into the program.
And you've been involved in New York soccer in general for a long time now. I know you're coaching at John Jay. You've been involved in different areas. Why do you think Braveheart could make a really positive impact in the scene here?
So I think just from the game model, the way that we want to play the game, we really want to play with that possession-based game, which I think young players are kind of craving being stateside, and avoiding that kick and run that I grew up with in the 90s. And I think the way that we play the game, the way that we want to create the plays on the field is just a really attractive type of game.
You guys have a U15, U17, U19 team already. At this age, what do you think is the most important thing to focus on for the players? Obviously, they've had a lot of years already playing, but what do you guys work on to really make a complete package?
So definitely the technical ability, stringing the passes, firm, crisp passes. We also, this is when we introduce the bigger principles, like tactical principles, like how you are in relation to your teammates and certain situations in the game. So being able to give some predictability to the chaotic game. This is where we come in and try and help the young players.
And besides the technical and I guess the football aspect of what you're trying to do, how do you believe that the academy can help develop them as people as well?
Well, I mean, just from my time here, seeing the way that they work, it's comparable to almost any level that I've coached at. So seeing what they bring, they're already great people coming in, and it's just a matter of giving them that discipline, that team spirit, and just bringing them all along as a collective.
And obviously, New York is still kind of lacking a lot of clubs that really do comprehensive youth to adult, to high level adult. I guess I have two questions. Why do you think that's been so hard to create? And what do you think the value is now that Braveheart's providing, having academy all the way up to an adult high quality team?
So I would say it's tough with the pyramid, and with certain motivations that some might have in starting a amateur or senior level team. The difference that I've seen just from joining Braveheart, Bob is probably the most active in the team chats. In the U15s, U17s, U19s, he's the one that's really, the players feel comfortable speaking with him, and you can tell that it's a really youth-focused club. And the way that the youth look at the senior team, it's really motivating. There was a live stream this weekend, and the guys were putting in the chat like any moment that was going on in the senior game. That was all the way out in Pennsylvania, but they're still streaming it from home, watching how our senior squad is doing.
How much of an impact does it make for these youngsters to have those really positive role models? Obviously, very high quality players in the Braveheart adult team, and just mentally, it's always struck me just the really dedicated professional attitude that they all have, which is why they've got the level they're at.
Right. Yeah, and the young players definitely see that. They're bought into the culture. They see what the potential is going forward, and that's what they look for. They want to be able to see themselves in a Braveheart senior shirt.
And for the future, where would you like to see Braveheart, both on the youth level and the adult level, in 10 years?
10 years. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely love to see them start getting higher and higher levels in the youth leagues, like maybe MLS Next, affiliated with that. I know we have the Met Oval affiliation, but also in the seniors, competing for a Lamar Hunt Trophy. I know UPSL Premier has qualifications in the early stages, so I'd like to see us go up against an MLS team.
I'm here with 3 Braveheart U17 players, Christopher, Josh and Romario, who have already been practicing hard today. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Christopher, I'll start with you. How long have you been with the Academy, and what's the experience been like with you for you so far?
Well, I've been with the Academy for, let's see, a year and a half, and the experience is really good. Like, it's really good. I like the people here, the coaches, everything about it.
What do you feel like you've improved most as your time with the Academy?
Probably, like, as a player.
Yeah.
Like my footwork, everything. Like, basically everything helps me.
Nice. And Romario, how good is it to have facilities like this, Queen's College, Met Oval, to train at?
Oh, it's amazing actually. Playing in these type of fields is a very good opportunity for us. It can help us improve a lot.
And what have you guys mainly been focusing on so far this season?
So far, it's mainly building out the back. We're starting a new style of play. It's just what Coach Alti is implementing for us, and it's been working so far. We've been winning games.
Josh, I know that a lot of boys have been coming down to try out for Braveheart as well. Do you feel like the Academy is getting stronger, the squad, season by season?
Yeah, I think definitely since last season where we went undefeated, I think that's where people really started noticing us. And this season we've been getting more players because I feel like because of our style of play, like what Mario said, Coach Alti is implementing a style of play that is like pleasing to the eye. So yeah, I feel like that's what.
Describe a bit more about that style of play. How does Coach Alti want you guys playing?
Well, without giving tactics away, just keeping the ball, not forcing it, playing simple, and then being patient. The goal will come.
And Christopher, you're a goalkeeper, correct? So I imagine a lot of it is playing out the back through you.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be sharp. If not, then it's a goal. You gotta be good.
And obviously, it can be quite a steep learning curve, isn't it, playing out the back? Because if you lose it, it's a goal. But it has to be done to learn. Does it feel like the coaches have really encouraged you guys and kept you trying to do the right way, even though it's sometimes a harder, longer process?
Yeah, it just comes about, I guess.
Yeah, fantastic. Romario, you guys have got spring season. I think you've already started, right?
Yeah, started a couple days.
Yeah, we've got a long spring season ahead of you. What are you most excited for this spring?
Honestly, building chemistry with my teammates and seeing how each of us can get better and seeing our maybe opportunities on the field. Other coaches, other scouts watching us maybe can give us a couple of good opportunities, and we can grow as a team like that.
Fantastic. And Josh, obviously, a big part of Braveheart is the men's team as well. How exciting is it for you to know that there is that potential pathway all the way up to a very high level?
Well, it definitely motivates you. This season, some players already got called up for the men's team from the academy, and so I think it just pushes you to work harder because you know that if you're doing well, then there's a chance that you end in the men's team.
Absolutely. And Romario, what do you think at this age, playing in the U17s, what's the most important thing you as players need to focus on if you're going to really fulfill your potential and take your game to the next level?
Personally, from experience, I think it's confidence. Confidence is the number one thing I think you need as a player. You need to be able to be confident on the ball, not be scared, handle pressure from other opponents. They might look a bit scary and stuff. So having confidence really helps you develop as a player. And probably at this age, the main thing you need to focus on is confidence.
Absolutely. And lastly, boys, I wanted to ask you where you hope you can go as players. So I'll ask each of you once. So Chris, as a player personally, where would you, if all your dreams came true, where would you want to be one day?
I mean, probably like Barcelona or something. It's the dream. It's the dream team right there.
Absolutely. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, same. I would like to play Barca, but the small dream is making it pro first.
Absolutely. Romario?
Probably like a team like Dortmund, because they're very good at developing players. Like as you've seen, like center mids like Jude, Holland, they all come from Dortmund. So it's probably like somewhere like a small team it's not a small team, but like a bigger team in a big league. So somewhere around there.
Well, boys, thanks for sharing. Well done on practicing hard. Keep working hard. I'm sure you boys are going to have very bright futures already. Well done, lads. Well, that just about does it for us down there at Queen's College, guys. Really fascinating to learn about the Braveheart project, particularly how they're taking on the paid-to-play model and really trying to maximise opportunities for the youth, as well as their decisions. Refreshing to see that. Hopefully it takes off, becomes a trailblazer in the New York City soccer scene and benefits all the youth in the greater New York area. But a big thank you to CP De Vera for sharing his thoughts, to Coach Said, to the 3 U17 boys. We'll be streaming Braveheart a lot on Game and Frame this season. The UPSL Premier side will be having all of their home games. The UPSL Division 1 side will be doing a bit of them as well as the Academy side. So definitely tune in for them on GameandFrame.com for all those live streams. But guys, for now, this is Josh Pratt signing off from Queen's College.